Hi, my name is Taylor Clark. I'm doing my career research interview. I'm speaking with Barbara Dennis, the manager and broker of Casa Buena Incorporated. It's a Jacksonville real estate company, and I'm actually getting my degree in business administration currently. I do hope to open my own brokerage one day, and so I've decided to speak with her to get some insight on the field. Basically, just some general aspects of the field. What type of jobs have you noticed to be available to licensed brokers? I know there's a lot of options with that.
Well, you can be a self-employed broker and own your own business. That's one option, which is
That's
the
what
one
I
you
wanna
were
do.
talking about. Another option is to work for a company, for one of the larger companies, managing one of their branch offices.
Okay.
And another one is to work for a builder
Okay.
as a site agent or a sales manager.
Okay. So see, there are several options. I think I'd rather do the own my own brokerage. Do you anticipate any kind of upswing in the market? I know it's down right now. Do you predict any?
There definitely needs to be, because I think a great part of the United States economy has depended on real estate, and I think a lot of our recession right now has been directly related to the problems in mortgages, real estate, and construction. So as far as time frames go, I'm not sure how long it's going to take. If you'd asked me last year, I would have said by this year. I'm still hoping.
So hopefully next year.
I'm looking forward to 2013. Right now, though, is a great time to learn.
Okay. And about that with the fluctuations, I understand that it does not, now's not the best time to do it, but it discourages buyers and sellers, not just us. Do you have any sales tactics for people who are nervous about the system, that don't know much about the field?
Honestly, as far as buyers go, it is very difficult to qualify for a mortgage right now. You have to have a bigger down payment than you've had to have in the last decade, and there are some really strict credit requirements. But people who have good credit, who can qualify, or who have cash to invest, that this could be a great time to buy, because prices are low. And when the market swings up, they'll build equity. So that is a big help. You also still have in the market today, you still have people who have to move because of job transfers, military people, and things like that. And even though it's a little harder for them, that makes them need brokers more.
This is true, yep. So as for education, I'm currently, like I said, doing my my business administration. That's what I'm going for right now. What kind of degree is that? Would you recommend that, or is there a specific degree that you'd recommend for?
You are not required to have any particular type of degree, because of the intense education and continuing education requirements and the licensing requirements to become a real estate agent and then a real estate broker. However, a degree in business management would be perfect if you're going to run your own business, because you need to learn how to do that. There are literally thousands of real estate agents who never truly run their own business.
Okay. And as for the requirements and the continuing education, what are they? Just for Florida, I know it changes between the states.
In Florida, to become a licensed real estate salesperson, you have to take a 60-hour course. You have to pass a background check. You have to take a state exam, and you have to apply for licensing. And then immediately after you get your license, you have to take another class that's a post-licensing course within the first 2 years. After that time, you have to have a minimum of 14 hours continuing education. You'll find you will probably get far more than that, because there's so much to learn. And then to become a broker, you have to get those first few years behind you, and then take another 60-hour course. And learn about what it means to be in charge of other salespeople and things like that. And then you have to apply for another broker's license, get another background check, and many different things. And then from there on, you just renew your license every 2 years. You do your every 2-year continuing education, and then you're pretty much set.
Were there any like additional activities that you chose to do that you would recommend for somebody trying to get into the field now? Just, I know that there are those requirements for licensing, but are there any extra things that you did, any classes or activities?
It really helps if you've worked in sales one-on-one with people before.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
And anything that you can do to acclimate yourself or get to know the construction industry better is just a bonus, especially in a hard market like this.
Okay. And you were saying earlier that for the options that you have as a broker, or even as a sales agent, would you recommend starting with just a sales agent with a smaller company with a broker who can focus on just you, or a bigger agency where you kind of had more time in the field?
Well, a
What
lot
would
of the larger agencies
Mhm.
actually offer you more education and in-house training.
Okay.
And you get to work with, you have the opportunity to work with
Mhm.
other people who have been there longer than you.
Mhm.
So, and a multitude of other people, so they actually have time
Okay.
to help you. And their organization is set up for training agents.
Mhm.
That's how they acquire their agents.
Mhm.
And then the commission splits, because you do work on commission, not salary at
Yeah.
most of these firms.
Mhm.
Then the commission splits are going to be lower because you're learning. And then as you progress, you can move to different companies because you're an independent contractor. Move to other companies that pay you more, or
Yeah.
perhaps you'll end up working for one that actually has a graduated program that as you learn more, you earn more.
Okay.
And really just by the time you get to being on your own, you will have the experience that you need
Exactly.
from being with the other agents.
Yeah, and schooling would help with that, I assume, as well.
Absolutely.
So, all of the classes. What do you do as a broker for your agents? Is it more about getting them out in the field, or is it more just train, practice, or?
In my case, I generally only hire experienced agents. I pay them a very high commission split.
Okay.
And I expect them to work very independently.
Yep.
And I provide support for them.
Okay.
Because I am a small one office organization.
Yeah. So do you prefer newer people that you could train, or people that have worked with the field for a while, or does it not make a difference?
I require at least 5 years experience.
Okay.
Because I am a small organization,
Yes.
I can't do a lot of hand holding. And I know and appreciate what it's like to learn from the bigger companies and move up and be more experienced and be more autonomous on working on your own and making more money, because that's how I did it.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense. And so one more question with that is, do you prefer the people who have worked, you were saying with the bigger companies, do you prefer, or that it is a benefit to get the training from the bigger companies and then work on your own? Do you prefer hiring people just as a manager of a company, any type of company, prefer people who have been trained in the general field, or just specifically, coming from a larger company or a smaller?
I really like to see a mix of experience.
Okay.
For instance, some of my best agents have been agents who worked in the general real estate field as a sales agent for a larger company,
Okay.
and then also had some experience as a site salesperson for a builder,
Yeah.
because then they have those relationships locally and they know more about the overall business and can help their buyers and sellers better.
Okay. And let me see. For just in your general opinion, how does the market affect you in your just as a homeowner yourself? You have a family, and do the fluctuations with the market affect you a lot, or is it just kind of keep your head up?
Because in real estate you are paid by commission, the market fluctuations affect your pocketbook.
Okay, yeah, of
Every
course.
bit of it. And so, yes, you learn to appreciate the really good times, and you learn to save, and you learn to try and help your family through those ups and downs.
Yes.
But I think that applies to almost any business owner, because as a business owner, if you take good care of the people who work for you, and your goal is to stay in business, then you really need to ride the fluctuations in the economy. And your family, your children, and everybody, they got to be in on it with you.
Yeah, definitely. Do you find it satisfying, the job in general, more so than any other kind of profession?
Extremely. Especially because, well, there are a couple of things. One is when somebody is buying a home, their first home, their third home, their retirement home, whichever it is, they are making one of the biggest investments that they will make in their life. It's not just an investment. It is actually their way of life for the time that they're in in that property.
Yep.
And it's very satisfying when you've helped somebody make the right match. When people have to sell, it's also extremely satisfying to know that you've gotten them the best deal that they can possibly get and help them move on to the next phase of their life.
Okay, yeah. Once again, with just the opinion, does the schedule interfere with your personal life? I know
Absolutely.
You're busy. Yeah, you're busy with work, but
because you have to be available 7 days a week.
Okay.
So you have to be flexible because people are the customers that you have to meet. They are going to be working around their regular work schedule and their families and everything too. And when I say it interferes, I actually have found ways to make that work with my life. I have to make days where I say, no, I am not doing this. I have to do things with my family. But that flexibility and availability, actually you can make it work to your benefit because when you do have time off, you learn to use it more wisely.
Yes, I believe that. Yeah. And you were talking about people calling you all of the time. Is that, I mean, I know it must be work related, but have you made any friends through buyers, coworkers, employers that I know you must obviously speak to them outside of work, but have you made personal friends? Has it become a part of your personal life?
Absolutely, because of the kind of business that I'm in, where relationships are so important. I have friends who are prior customers. I have friends who are prior bosses, co-workers, and the majority of my network and my friends now are family and people that I have done business with in real estate.
Okay, that's awesome. Have you been to anybody's, do you like to watch them grow also? Like you see, oh, I've sold that house before and it's repainted, they've got kids now, just the changes over time. I bet that's
absolutely
awesome.
When I worked as a site agent in a subdivision in Jacksonville, I sold a home to a family there. And then they had several more children while they were there, and they were ready to move on. And I got to sell their house and help them find the next one. I also, after working at that company, I had a sales manager. And after that time, we became really good friends then. And after that time, I have sold 2 houses for him and 2 to him.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it's even like repeat business. So that's,
absolutely.
That's good. Actually, with that, the contacts, like the benefits of contacts with the business in general, like is it best to, everybody knows the saying, it's who you know. Is that part of, I know that the medical things like that, sciences, they require contacts, but does real estate in general?
It helps if you get to know people. When you're new in the business, that's why working for a larger company might help you. And it's easy to make friends. And what I have found is as you get more and more experienced, it actually is the opposite. It's who knows you.
Okay.
And in real estate specifically, there are people who I have never met who know who I am.
Exactly.
And when they meet me, they feel like they've known me. And either because somebody's told them about me or because they've seen advertising or whatever. And that actually brings me a lot of business and a lot of additional referrals. Well, when I say who knows you, if you stay in touch with people, you'll find that every person that feels close to you will recommend 5 to 10 people.
Exactly.
And half of them will contact you.
So marketing must be easier in this field than in, any other kind of field, because I mean, obviously you would have to advertise and bring people in, but is word of mouth just a big part in general?
Word of mouth and referrals are the #1 source of income for me.
Okay.
And the #2 would be I visit associations and things like that, and I tell them, I give them general information about real estate so they consider me an expert.
Okay.
So much more than just advertising with a picture.
Yeah. Okay. And when you started, did you do anything similar to like what I'm doing right now, just interviewing with just general people of the business, especially with good reputations like yours? So did you do pretty much the same thing?
I was actually in another field of work, and many of my clients at the time were real estate agents and brokers. And so in talking to them and knowing more about them, I asked questions. And in addition to that, I also sought out, while I was taking my licensing class, I sought out the brokers themselves of many different companies in Jacksonville, and to find out what they had to offer, because I knew this was what I wanted to do, and I made the choice to start with a bigger company who offered the most education, and it worked out well for me.
Okay. And just for those who don't know, a sales agent is when you first become a real estate agent, you have to take additional licensing to become a broker. And that's one of my last questions for you is, how long were you an agent before you were a broker? It's kind of like I said with the contacts. Who did you get to know before you started, and how did you build up to that?
I became an